Hi guys, this is Lebanon. I'm coming to you with another video. This one is going to be over your mythic level captains and how exactly to get them. More specifically, Hercules and Beowulf. Those are the two that basically have been brought out more recently and everything, and they are super, super powerful. So if you can get them. And in order to get each one of them, I'm going to show you how in the course of this video. So hopefully you can follow along. Now, with Hercules, the reason why he's so great is because when you're fighting your epic level monsters, so I'll show you. Arachne Swarm. Arachne is this big, huge, basic monster and everything right here in the middle of my screen. And I pop out of here, go through and send my army up against Arachne, and you have no chance of beating one of these. Maybe the top two, top few players in the whole entire world can go through and beat one of these monsters. But no. Common people like me, we are not going through and being able to beat Arachne. We could go through and kill a lot of Arachne and get a lot of points out of it, but we can't go through and defeat Arachne. So whenever you fight an epic level monster, you're going to die. All of your captains that you send are going to die, or your hero, and then all of the armies that you send with it. So make sure that either you do one of two things. You either have enough potions to be able to revive your guys, or you have enough silver in order to basically rebuild your army. That's basically the way to do this. All right, so let's go back to what exactly you need to do in order to get Hercules, because I like to have Hercules so that I can build and develop really, really quickly. So with Hercules, let's go into it. This is Hercules, the character, right? Hercules, he does a ×2 aspect for each level that he's at. So right now, Hercules is at level 216 for me. That means that he does 432 extra strength to my army whenever I fight an epic level monster. Basically, my army is 4 times more powerful. That is awesome. So when you're increasing your army up to this level of strength and all, then that makes it to where you're going to get more valor points out of it, more experience points out of it. You know, you're going to level up faster. You're going to get it to where everything is going to become easier in this game. So Hercules is a definite need for everybody to get. Now let's see how exactly to do it. In order to get it, you have to go through and basically click on the Triumphal Challenge. Go under Sales, and then if you scroll through it, like if you're on your phone, you can scroll down. If you're on the computer, you can scroll sideways. There it is, Legendary Hercules, and 50 pieces of Hercules. Now, the problem with Triumphal Sales is that you have to buy the beginning ones in order to get to the end ones. So I must buy this valuable resources ×2, and then I get this free one for free immediately afterwards. So you can just click on it and get it. And then I have to buy the Epic Guardsman ×2, and then get the free one. And then I could get to Hercules. So in order to just get Hercules at star level 1, you have to spend basically, I think it's like $250 to $500. I think it's like $49.99, $99.99, and I think another $99.99. So it's $250 in order to get Hercules. So if you're not going to do very much in the game, even if you have star level 1, that is great to be able to have Hercules. You could go through and augment him with armor and with other stuff and have it to where, if you don't have great star level with him, it's fine. Now, the other way to go through and get Hercules, and you still do it this way, but you need to keep on continuing. So what I did was I looked further on into the sales, the Triumphal Sales, and I saw that once you get all the way over here, then you can get Hercules and you get 300 more pieces of him. And if I remember correctly, I now have Hercules at star level 4. So I went through and I had to spend on each one of these sales in order to get there. Now, full disclosure, I've spent about $5,000 on this game so far. And I've only been playing it 6 weeks and everything, but I fully intend on getting to a point to where I don't have to spend money on mercs and on building supplies, on everything else, that I'm solid in the game, I'm with a solid clan, and that I could just relax. That's my plan. So in order to do that, though, I need Hercules. So I spent, I think it's like $1,750. But then when I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, right after Hercules, there's one more sale. That's it. And it's Dragon Evolution ×4. If you look under the sales and under the like first screen that you get when you pop into it, going through and buying Dragon Orbs, you can spend $250 and get 25,000 orbs. Or in this, if you spent $2,000 and got the whole entire group of sales, you could get 100,000 orbs, which basically assures that when you get to level 150 of your dragon, that you have enough. And it also, if I remember correctly, it actually could get you to 200. I think I just got to 200, and I think it's because of the fact that I bought this that I was actually able to get there. So it ensures you of a dragon level 200 by going through and getting this sale, which kind of works out. So $2,000, yes, it's a huge amount of money and everything, but you know, whatever. If you just want Hercules in the basic form and you could just level him up, it won't get the star level up, but at least you have him, then you only have to spend $250. If you want to spend $1,750, you could get him up to star level 4, which I think adds like another 90% strength to Hercules. So for really serious players, yeah, they're probably going to do this. And then to get him completely maxed out, they probably have to buy this like 2 or 3 times. I think 3 probably, if I'm doing the math correctly, which means that they probably spent about $5,000 in order to get Hercules maxed out. Not worth it. Just saying. All right, so now we got Dragon Evolution and everything. We have all this. Now you know about Hercules and you know exactly what to do. Let's go on over to Beowulf. So Beowulf is this new captain that I'm going to try and show you the captains again. Here is Beowulf. Beowulf adds to every single part of your army both health and also strength. So if you're looking at this and you're like 500%, 500% to strength and 500% to health, it's like, holy crap, how do I get Beowulf? Let me show you, okay? Now, I think it is to where you have like every single level that you level him up, it's going to be to where you can increase the overall amount of like health, the overall amount of strength that Beowulf contributes. I'm not sure. I haven't gotten him yet in order to be able to show you exactly what that is, but trust me, I will get him soon. Okay, next part. So we're going to get on out of this. And basically the premise behind Beowulf is you're basically replacing Cleopatra and also Ramses and putting them into one. So instead of 2 captains taking up 2 different spots, you can have Beowulf by himself, and he is 100% your everything killer. He will kill all of your monsters, everything for you, and do a fantastic job at it. All right, so when you become Guardsman level 6, which basically means that your academy, right here, this one, and then also your barracks is going to be at level 30 or higher. At that point, they will have it to where some kind of icon like this will probably show up. Now, this is what Beowulf just got released, and I had hit level 6 right before this, so the timing worked out awesome, and I got the invite in order to be able to go to it. Also, there's a ton of veteran players that also have this invite, so don't think that it's like, ooh, exclusive or anything. And for my clan members, they started freaking out because they're like, well, wait, you went to another kingdom? Like, are you leaving us? And I'm like, guys, I'm not leaving you. Trust me, you're good. I'm just going through and having to do this side challenge in order to be able to get Beowulf. So here's what is involved in Beowulf. So my other identity is Tali when it comes down to Beowulf or whatever. It was computer assigned name. It's not my idea of a name or anything like that. Of course, they're going to show you this sales first because they want you to spend money. Yay. Now, with Beowulf, here's the parameters of it. So I'm going to go through and click on it. And so you can see. Beowulf is basically to where you have to start the game completely brand new over. That means that you do not have a city. There's nothing in it. You are at level 1 for your hero. You don't have any captains. You don't have any nothing. And for a lot of people that have gotten further in the game, they're like, ugh. Now, granted, the beginning part is fun because you're progressing rapidly. So you're getting a sense of accomplishment all the time. It's kind of like, good job, you did this. Good job, you did that. And it's like, oh, can I get a doggy treat? Ooh, yay. But that's basically what, like, starting the beginning of the game, makes you feel like. Now, with Beowulf, what it does is they give you a certain amount of time. So for me, when I first clicked on this, I had like 86, 87 days left. And it's, I think, a 90-day challenge or whatever. Granted, I am not one of the people from the other clans or a veteran player, like, or what would be considered a veteran player. So I cannot testify to what exactly their time frame was, how long they've been working on this or whatever. But it seemed like they were pretty much into this around the exact same time as me. So when you're starting out, you have to get your guardsmen up as high as you can in order to get things. So for the guardsman level 3, you get a suit of armor. And the durability on the suit of armor, I think it's like 200. So if anybody that's been playing a while, you're like, well, the durability for most of my armor is only 30 or 35. Yeah, this is way greater, so that you'll never have to get more armor for Beowulf or whatever. Because Beowulf is going to be fighting basically every single monster. The game kind of factored this into it like, hey, we got you. You got this armor, you're good. So level 3, you get armor. Level 4, you get armor. Level 5, you get armor. Here's where you need to get to. Level 6. Now, when I'm looking at what exactly I want to get done on this, you got to decide as far as what you're comfortable with. I know I could get to level 6. I have clan members in my clan that are struggling to even get to level 4. And granted, I'm going to show you guys the absolute fastest way to get there, and where you ignore everything else and you just go for guardsman level. But if you can get up to level 6 in 90 days, then chances are you could do a lot more than you really are thinking about. So I'm gonna hopefully give you guys some tips as far as how to speed your ascension in this process. Okay, so with guardsman level 6, you get 200 pieces of Beowulf. That unlocks him. Now, when you get him, you can send, whether or not it's the armor or whether or not it's the character pieces, you can send him to one of the different accounts that you have. So I am sending him to my main account, the one where my hero is up at level 176 or whatever, so that this way I can use him down the, for the long haul. Because Beowulf, my new profile Tali is not going to be what I stick with. Now, when I get to Guardsman level 7, it gives you another 200 pieces. Guardsman level 8 is 400 pieces. And then Guardsman level 9, which is just absolutely silly, 600 pieces. I believe, if I can read that right. Yeah, it looks like it. But anyways, when you're doing this, a lot of the people that I've been talking to, they're just like, I just want Guardsman level 6. Like, if I can just get Beowulf and everything, he's going to help out my army so much. And it's true. He will help out your army that much. Question is, how far can you actually get? Now, there's two ways to basically do this and everything, and you'd be surprised what people are willing to do in order to be able to get to that level. So, from the very get-go, what you need to do is, they're going to give you this sale. And this is something that I did that I absolutely would advise everybody to do this. That is going to do the Beowulf challenge. On the right-hand side or whatever, it was this little pop-up sale. So, you get the pop-up sales that are like this ×2 value. And this is for dragon orbs. And don't get me wrong, that is a lot of dragon orbs for the money. But what I did was they gave me from the very beginning, they gave you building resources. And it was a $4.99 sale. I got it. $9.99, got it. $19.99, got it. $49.99, $249, got it. The reason why is because when you're doing Beowulf, you're not going to have the time to keep up with your other account, your other profile, and do Beowulf, and go through and go like mine in areas, go to quarries, send your captains all throughout. There's only so much time in the day. A lot of you have jobs. Don't go through and neglect it because of the fact that you're obsessed with going through and trying to get like Beowulf. If you can spend the total of, let's see, 499 plus 999, that's 15. And then we got the 19, so 35 plus the 50, that's 85 plus the 100, 185 plus the 250. That is $435 in order to get the resources that you need in order to be able to accomplish Beowulf. I think it's worth it. If you spend nothing else and everything on Beowulf, at least do that so that this way, when you're fighting and dying, that's one thing. But when you have it to where you have to wait on getting the materials in order to be able to upgrade your warehouse, in order to be able to get to where you can upgrade your temple, to upgrade your barracks, to upgrade your academy, to be able to get it to where you actually can fight on guardsman level 3 or 4, it is really a pain in the butt. So just shell out the money. It's not that bad. If you're going for Beowulf, you're probably a super serious player anyways. So it's like a drop in the bucket. All right, now, here's some things about Beowulf's side that you need to understand. Everything else that you need, your clan will help you out with. A lot of the players that are in here are spending some serious coin. Now, granted, I ended up joining a clan because, and you got to join a clan when you do this. You need a clan in order to be able to accomplish Beowulf. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Even if your clan does not have enough people over here, join a different clan. Hopefully they're nice to you and they'll actually let you in. I ended up getting in with MMM. They're a very nice clan. I think they're Kingdom 74 or whatever. Good people and all. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll join them. I have no idea. But whatever. So with this clan and everything, they are going through, and a lot of the different clans are doing this, they're spending a lot of money in order to be able to get to Beowulf Guardsman level 6. Whenever they spend money, they're going to be giving out different prizes, different chests. So look at this. This 79 gifts, of that, 67 are from like crypts and other stuff like that. But then you have 12 that came from just purchases. And bear in mind, when you're doing this, there is going to be a lot more than 12 on an average like time that you go through and you click on these. There's a lot of people that will spend a lot of money on it. And the other good thing about it, the players that are getting on here are serious about it. So like, look, I am maxed out on these help aspects on these two different things from this clan. That is a good clan. All these players are serious. They want Beowulf. They're going to help each other to get it and everything. And look, I'm, just step away and it's like, you're going to get stuff on stuff with more stuff with stuff included. And all these different chests and all is stuff that's going to really severely help you out. Some of these are really high level too. So when you're going through and trying to figure out how much do you want to spend on Beowulf, spend that initial $435 on the building package in order to get your lumber, your iron, and also your stone. But then after that, just sit back and relax and everything, and you're going to do a lot of fighting. It's a lot of fighting and dying, and I'm going to show you how to do it at the max level. Initially, when I was building and I was getting up before level 20 for my hero, I wanted to get all my mansions and all my buildings up to level 14. Here's why. In order to have a decent level army, you need at least level 14 for your mansions and also for your farmers' houses. Ideally, your mansions would be higher because you're going to need to be spending a lot of silver. But if you have a really super active clan, then they're going to do a lot of the legwork for you and everything, and then you can save a little bit of money on buying silver or on going through and upgrading these things, and spend your time upgrading the buildings that matter in order to get your guardsmen up. So I got to 14 on all my buildings initially before I hit level 20. Keep that hero before level 20 because once he hits level 20, then the automatic speed up goes away. Because you get automatic speed up to where it's just like, hey, I decided to do this. Oh, wait, done. And you don't have to do anything for it. Otherwise, you'd have to wait and do the speed up and everything else. Real big pain in the butt. All right, so now, once you get into this, know that they're going to have events that are geared towards quick, rapid growth. So the other thing that they're going to, like Arachne is today, they had Armageddon yesterday. And then, like, further on down the line, we have Doomsday, we have Ragnarok. Ragnarok is phenomenal for going through and building your army or like leveling up. And then you also have Shadow City that is coming up a little bit later on in the week. Shadow Invasion, Ragnarok, Arachne, those are your three best ways in order to fight epics and also be able to go through and level up at the exact same time. Now, the other thing that Beowulf does, that I did not know this going into it, but then once I saw it, I'm like, holy crap, maybe I overspent. But then again, I'm going for probably Guardsman level 7. I was originally thinking just 6, but I'm like, you know what? I'm doing this quickly. Like, if I'm almost at 6 and I'm at 3 days in, I still have another 80 days. In 80 days, even if I slow down drastically, I can still go through and get 7. All right, so now, Path of Legend. Path of Legend basically goes through and it gives you a whole bunch of different things along the way. Anytime that you're fighting any of these guys, it's going to go through and give you different prizes. So, like resources in order to help build buildings, more resources, dragon eyes, speed ups. And by speed ups, 175 days of speed ups. And as you go along and everything, they get bigger and bigger and bigger. But they're giving you enough speed ups, dragon eyes, resources, and stuff like that, so that it might be to where, like, you can just go through and do this even without spending money. I'm not hoping to find out because I want to make sure that no matter what, I get at least a 6, hopefully 7. And there is a small outside chance that I might be like, screw it, I'm doing the 8, but, you know, whatever. We'll see how desperate and stupid I decide to get. So with that, you know, the Path to Legend or whatever, that's going to help you out a huge amount as far as being able to go through and accelerate your guys. The other thing is when you're in here, whenever they have an event, you might want to go through and fight and die. Like right now, I did a fight and die on Arachne Swarm. I did enough in order to be happy with myself as to how much I got up. And then I'm saving myself next for Ragnarok. Ragnarok is tomorrow. The other thing that's tomorrow is Doomsday. Doomsday is not that great as far as getting Valor points. It has a little bit of prizes and like Immortal Essence that you might need or whatever. But then, in all honesty, save all your gold, all of your silver, everything else for Ragnarok. If you fight Fenrir in Ragnarok, and I think they're doing Ragnarok once a week if I remember correctly, fighting Fenrir is the best way in order to get Valor points. If you're fighting the snake, I think his name is Jormungandr or whatever the heck. The snake, you have to create raids, and then you go through and you fight them. But then with the snake, the prizes are bigger. The prizes are much, much bigger. So if you want to go through and get the big, huge prizes, you can't ignore the snake completely. Fenrir is better for accruing massive amounts of Valor points, but don't ignore the snake. Make sure you do the snake also. That would be the best way in order to basically do this. The other way, now that we are done with the events, I'm going to show you how to optimize everything in order to just get Guardsman levels. So here's what I did, right? I did the sale, and I have it to where I can build my buildings fast. But then when you're going through and trying to level up your stuff, here's what I did. Why is it... Hold on. Oh, research technologies. There we go. Okay. There is a bunch of different categories when you're looking at, you know, your research aspect. There are certain ones that you can definitely ignore. So I am going for speed. I am not going for depth. So like, let's say for instance, right, I was to dig a hole in the ground. I am trying to take a drill and drill down as far as I can into the ground as fast as I can. Some people, they might want to dig a really wide hole and gradually go through and like go down or whatever. I'm trying to go down as quickly as I possibly can in order to be able to unlock. And then after that, I don't worry about it. I am going to bubble of peace my way through the entire 80 some odd days. I'm not going to fight other clans. I'm just going to let the clans, if they really want to fight each other, let them do it. But I think most of the people in here are going to be trying to concentrate on just going through and getting Beowulf. So when you're going through and researching, ignore the specialists. You do not need them. Specialists require conquest points. I'm going to show you exactly what to do with conquest points, and it's not specialists. Put them in army modernization. So under the boost section, if you're on the phone, just scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see it. Army modernization, what I did was, I was like army strength, army health. Mounted strength, mounted health. Like melee units strength, melee units health. And you do that the whole way across. Try and ignore the others as much as you possibly can. Now, granted, I did Shadow City, but I was very new on there. It was the first day. I wasn't going to get very far. I at least got the first level to where it's somewhat decent, but then I'm going to plow my way through it the next time that pops up. So do army modernization in order to make your punches a whole heck of a lot more powerful. It's like, hey, if you want to be a boxer and you never lift weights, you're going to get your butt kicked because you may hit him 10 times, he hits you one, he puts you out. The other thing that you could go through and basically spend some of your research on is the economy. The economy is good, but what I did was I did a basic level of stone, iron, and lumber. It's just enough in order to be somewhat respectable, but you're never going to be able to produce enough of these in order to be able to build your buildings in the course of 90 days. It just doesn't happen. Make sure that you get your food production up, your silver production up, but then you can ignore a lot of the other stuff. Research speed, I absolutely would advise because of the fact that if you're not increasing your research speed, then you're not going to be able to survive the amount of speed ups that you would need. The other thing would be your construction speed in order to be able to get your construction time down. Now, they do give you speed ups as a part of the game, and if you're buying a lot of packages, you're inevitably going to get speed ups as a part of it. So this is basically just a bare minimum if you did the building resources, and then we're just going straight up like depth as quickly as we can go. So then let's go up to the top section. When you're going through and doing your researching, ignore blacksmithing. Yes, I did enough in order to combine or whatever, but they do Hellforge as one of the events on this side. And so for Hellforge, it will give you whatever type of armor that you want. Now, granted, you're going to have to fight and die a lot. So if you're perfectly fine with fighting and dying and everything, then Hellforge, you can ignore blacksmithing completely. Archaeology, only do the bare minimum in order to be able to at least hit some crypts, but you're never going to be able to accrue enough materials in order to make it worth it through archaeology. If you're thinking oh, I do archaeology in order to get lumber and stuff like that, that I can completely understand. Do a little bit of it, but don't do a whole lot of it. Monsters, you don't need monsters. The reason why I don't do monsters is because they cost a whole lot of silver and dragon coins. And then in order to get those, that takes time. You have to place in all these different tournaments and everything, and it's very, very difficult. Engineer cores, so catapults, ballistas, stuff like that, trebuchets, ignore it. You're not attacking other cities. If I'm doing bubble the peace for 90 days, then I don't have to worry about fighting anybody else. So then at that point, I ignore specialists, ignore engineering core, ignore monsters, ignore archaeology, do bare minimum of this in order to get the credit for the daily quests or whatever. And then when I go to boost, the only thing that I'm really doing is the economy in order to get silver, food, and construction speed, and also research speed, and then army modernization for your melee units like your spearmen, and also your mounted units for your horse riders. At that point, that's all you need to do. If you do that, it is going to be so easy in order to get down as far as you can with that drill bit into the ground in order to get to where your guardsmen are. So I'm going to show you exactly what I've done so far. This is 3 days in, by the way. I can never say that I would be able to do this on my main account, because on the main account you have to worry about fighting other people. You have to you have to worry about all sorts of other stuff. But this is a good way to do it. So I went through an archers, spearmen, riders. You have to do all three. And then you do this and you do this, and you're doing 10 each time. So just suck it up. And then you get to your next one. Guardsman level 2. And then you're doing the guardsman training cost 2. Ignore Bernard. You do not need him. Ignore Lucius. You don't need him. If you have Cleopatra and you have Hercules, that's the other thing. Get Hercules. If you don't know how to get Hercules, well, we already talked about in this video, so go back and watch it. Spearman level 3, the different level 3s. If you notice, I'm ignoring Doria, even though she does give Valor and everything. I think if I'm being smart and I'm doing a lot of Arachne, this would probably be a good idea. But I already got Doria. So why do I need to go through and, I could get more puzzle pieces for her, but I'm just leveling her up quickly, and that's going to give me enough of my Valor points. So I'm just concentrating on strict depth as quickly as I can. This is where I'm currently at, and then I got to level 6. And when you get to level 6, just be prepared. They're like 9 billion, 9 billion, 9 billion, 9 billion. So it's going to be a huge chunk of money in order to be able to get, or a huge chunk of Valor points, sorry, in order to get there. And then if it's 9 billion for that, I'm not sure how much it is for level 7. I'm going to find out. Oh, sorry, this is level 6. So yeah, 9 billion, 9 billion, 9 billion or whatever. And then for level 7, it's probably going to be somewhere in the realm of like, I don't know, 50 billion, 100 billion, something like that. So yeah, go for depth. Do not waste time and do not waste money on other things. Just try and get that guardsman level as quickly as you can. Because remember, this is all about getting Beowulf. This is not going to be your main account. This is not going to be, your life and everything. You still have it's like you cheating on your wife with a mistress and everything. But then you realize, hey, at some point I got to go back home. So yeah, I'm going to have to go back home at some point. I got 83 days left. And then I got to go back home to my wife, which is aka my other account. And I'm going to enjoy her very, very much. And I'm going to be like, look at my shiny new toy and everything I brought along with me. Yeah, she'll appreciate that. Not. So that is Beowulf. That is Hercules all into one. That is exactly how you get them. You're going to spend some money on each, but they are so well worth it. With Hercules, you're going to spend a minimum of $250. You might spend a maximum of $1,750 in order to do that triumphal sales all the way through to get to that Hercules 2.3 or whatever. For Beowulf, if you're doing that $435 of building supplies, that'll pop up at the very initial part on the right-hand side where it's that ×2 aspect. Trust me, it's worth it. You need it. Other than that, that's all for this video. I'm going to do other videos on different things. So keep going through and watching. You can hit a like. You can go through and subscribe if you really want to. I don't care. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this to help you guys out. So, and if you have any other questions that I haven't taken care of in the videos, please put a comment, down below, and so that I can look at it and then I can create a video for you over whatever the heck it is. Other than that, you guys have a good day and good luck.